Hello and welcome to Coffee with Dr. Carla. I'm Dr. Carla. And this is Emmy, and we are so glad that you're here with us today. Our goal today is to talk about some mental health related issues and hopefully start to end the stigma surrounding them. So when I first met you, you shared with me that you were certified in sound healing. And so I get myself all excited. And so why don't you share with people, what is this? What is it all about?
Yeah, so it's interesting because there are technically different types of sound healing. Some people do performative sound healing, and some people do more emotional, physical, healing instead of just maybe a concert or an event.
Okay.
The biggest difference between the two is actually the intention that you bring into the space.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So for performative, our intention is to entertain or to bring joy to people. And, if we're going for the other, we're looking for shifts or changes kind of within that person that we're working with.
Yes. That's a great way to put that. Yeah.
All right. So I'm sure I'm sure you've heard this many times or been asked this many times, really, sound can heal? How does that work?
Yeah.
We hear sounds all day long. Why aren't I healed? Right. Yeah.
That's a great question.
Right.
That would be easier.
It would be lovely. Wouldn't it?
So again, I do think part of that comes from the intention. And even just when you were talking about all of the sounds we hear during the day, a lot of those aren't necessarily soothing or comforting or safe. The majority of the population, I think, is woken up by a very harsh alarm sound every day.
Right.
And that, I think, just can throw everything off. But I could be biased there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sound healing is it's the idea of vibration.
Okay.
So the basic idea is that everything is vibrating all the times, down to our atoms. So we're all vibrating. And different frequencies and sounds impact that vibration.
Okay.
So that's why sometimes there's actually something I believe in the K-pop world that's the happy beat.
Okay.
And they literally will integrate it into songs because people get hyped up, they get active, they get excited, and they get addicted to songs. And that's part of the reason, in theory, that K-pop songs are so popular because they're such an earworm.
So they're playing on your body's natural reaction to that tempo or that way of delivering sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It's insane. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So that's an example.
Yes.
I guess where I would say where it's not necessarily being used for good. I guess it's different. If you're the artist, then of course you're going to make lots of money. So that's awesome. But but when we think about mental health, then how might we use sound in that arena? Because I don't think I'll be a K-pop star anytime soon. So yeah.
Fingers crossed. Who knows?
Yeah.
How to use it in the mental health arena. That's actually something I try to do as an intern here at the Cognitive Clinic. There are different modes that you can use, modalities. People use voice. Fun fact, I think we've talked about this, but humming is actually sound healing.
Yep.
It is self-soothing. It is your body getting back to the right rhythm, and it's a coping strategy. Also purring, your cats, if you have cats, they are little sound healers because when they purr, they do it with the intention of expressing joy or affection.
Okay.
So there is intentionality around that typically. So if you have a cat.
So could you just give us a little example about the humming? You don't have to purr, but can you hum for us?
Yes.
How you might teach a client how to do that, so that maybe our audience could take that piece away.
Absolutely. Yeah. So a lot of it, and the way I try to use it, is also integrated with mindfulness.
Okay.
So I always recommend you put your feet on the ground. kind of sit up straight, and you start with like 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Last time, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then you're going to take a deep breath in again and release it as a hum. And it's so that vibration, that note, like your body, I don't know if you could hear it, but we started off on different notes and we ended up attuning and adjusting to each other.
Okay.
And that is actually a very interesting reaction, because sometimes people will be like, no, this is the sound my body needs. Sometimes it's like a harmony, sometimes it's a match. Like, it really depends on the energy and the vibration in the room.
Okay.
So different different notes are aligned with different chakras.
Okay.
And so sometimes if like there's something like you really you're working on like being a better speaker, like you really want to be able to communicate better, you would try to hit the throat chakra note, which is, it's C. It starts in your root chakra, and that's C, and then your sacral is D, and then E is your solar plexus, F is your heart, and then G is your throat.
Okay. Now, if you have that musical ability, right, where you understand and you can hear, those differentiations, then that's awesome. But I also know that even if you're tone deaf,
Yes.
right, like any humming sound that you make will be
Yes.
useful. And what you were alluding to in the beginning is that whatever that sound ends up being is usually what your body needs anyhow.
Yes.
So, while I don't want people to be turned away from, being able to incorporate such a simple yet useful coping mechanism, just because we talked about different notes, right?
Yeah.
So I could sing like 2 notes and they're not even good. So if I knew I had to match a note, this wouldn't be my thing. But I know for a fact I don't have to match notes. And so humming is humming. Whatever that turns out to be works. Now, does it matter how loud you hum or anything to that nature?
Great question. Not that I know of. Again, though, I think it really comes from like knowing your body.
Okay.
And in that moment of like grounding, like asking it what it needs. Like, what is your intention? Like, what do you need from this short time that we have?
Right.
And let's get it out. Let's readjust. Let's be in this moment.
All right. I mean, there's so much to sound healing, and I'm glad we were able to get to, one really tangible piece that anybody can incorporate, no matter how old you are. That humming is a perfect piece to kind of get started. So hopefully you guys will all give it a try and see what you think. So remember, you can change your thoughts, discover your potential, and transform your life by focusing on being the best you possible. So until next time, keep working on being the best you. Bye.